Okay, so I don't really have a epic cinematic travel vlog for you guys today, but it's in the works. Instead, today we're going to be working on a little project that I've been postponing for a while, and I figured I might as well make a video about it today. So we're going to be installing a ham radio antenna on this Xterra. So for my install, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. First things first, I'm going to be going from the transceiver to the roof with this NMO mount here. And basically we just have to drill a hole, and if I can screw this off, I'll show you. This is going to go in the bottom of the roof, and then this is going to go on the top of the roof, and we clamp it on and we have an NMO mount. Now most mounts, that's pretty much all you ever do on a ham radio install, because this antenna is an NMO mount and it will just screw right on, and for the most part you're pretty much done at that point. However, I have a roof rack that is freaking huge, and I don't want that to be in the way of the antenna. So I want to get as much height as I can and use the roof rack. So to extend that, we're instead going to be putting this little adapter that's going to be an NMO to SO239, and that's going to sit on top of this NMO mount, where I will then extend with this little L bracket. This will mount on the roof rack. And then the cord, I have like 17 feet of it, I'll have to cut it down, is just going to mount on the roof rack and then connect to this adapter, and then which then goes to this NMO mount, which then goes into the car to the transceiver under the driver's seat. So it's a little complicated, but I think it'll work. So with that, let's jump right into it. Oh yeah, and one more thing I have to do. Now both of these are, the cord on these is RG58, I believe. And it's the same. However, this is an SO239 connector, and the connector that's on this is like really, really tiny. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a miniature version of what this one is, and I can't use it because it needs to plug into this adapter, and it's just too small. So what I'm gonna have to do, I have to cut the cord anyway, so I'm going to crimp on a new connector that will fit. And it's going to involve a little bit of soldering. Shouldn't be too difficult, but yeah, I usually end up eating my words when I say things should be easy, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the plan here is we're going to be taking these posts apart, and that should allow us to drop this hood up here, because I don't want to drill through this. I just want to drill through the metal roof. And what I plan to do is run the wire between the roof and this, and we're going to go down this center post behind me here. And the wire will drop through that, then under the seat where the transceiver is. And then I have another wire that actually runs from the transceiver under the center console up into the dash to where I have my control panel here. That makes things a little convenient for me. I've never done this before, but it looks like the only thing I need to do is pop these little caps off. That one came off a little easy. And undo these screws here. Oh, I want to tighten it. And should be able to undo it by hand here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I just pulled these out and got them out on both sides here. and wasn't too hard. It was actually pretty easy. The only thing I'd recommend is being very careful, using any tools to pull them off. Preferably just use your hands, because you might actually break or scratch them, and you may not want to do that. But they actually came out pretty easy for me. So, oops. Alright, that was pretty easy. I just gotta do the other side. Alright, so I got the visors off. It was pretty easy. It was just 2 Phillips screws on each side, and then these things, these little clippy things, were also just right in there with a Phillips screw, and they just pry right out. Now for the center light. Can't really get under it. I may just have to try and leverage it here. It wants to go. There we go. Let's try this side here. There we are. Okay. I'm having a tough time trying to disconnect this light. It's a simple connector, but it's just not wanting to come apart. But I was able to loosen some of the wires on here, and so it's dropping down a little bit further. That should be plenty for what I need to do. The only other thing I had to do was actually take off this handle on the passenger side up here. Pretty easy, pretty much the same as all these up here. I just had to peel the tabs off, and then I could get to the screw, and they just come right out. So I've kind of popped off the covers on the posts here. The seatbelt's in the way. I really don't feel like disassembling the seatbelts. Be pretty easy if I don't have to, but we'll see how this goes. But I will have to pull this off further so I can try and run the wire down it. But let's see if we can't make this drop down. Okay, so just to show you guys what's up here, peel this down a little. We're going to be drilling right behind where that cord is hanging and that metal bracket is. We'll just come straight in from there, and we'll just run the wire between this board here and the roof. We'll go down that post straight ahead, and then straight to the underside of the driver's seat. So all that's left is putting a hole in my roof. We are now entering the point of no return. So I think I want to go, I should be okay going right about here. Well, there's the start of our hole. Nope, still bigger. Aha, we did it. So I have my wife out here with me. This is going to be our NMO mount. This is going to stick up from underneath, and Taylor's going to hold it in place while I screw on this piece here. Now you guys might be wondering how this is going to seal. If you notice, there's a rubber O-ring on here, and that's going to create a seal. And if that doesn't satisfy me enough, this adapter we're putting on also has an O-ring on there. So that should create a pretty good weather seal, I think. And if it leaks, well, that's going to be a bummer. But I can also dunk it in a bunch of silicone as well, if I feel like it later down the road. But for now, I think this will suffice. So, Tay, go ahead and take that. Okay. What's up?
It's probably fine.
Let me brush this metal out of the way here. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to do on the drilling. Most people would call that install done, and they would just normally just mount their antenna right on top of that. But instead, what we're going to do, we want to mount ours on the roof rack. So I'm going to put this little adapter on here. And that's just going to screw on to that. And so now we can run a coax from here to our antenna, which we want to mount somewhere on this rail. Okay, so from here, all I have to do is take this coax cable and we're gonna run it down the edge here and down this post and then under the seat. And there we go. I can't take the seat belt off and completely remove this cover, so we're just gonna try and squeeze it in between. I kind of got it popped loose here, but we'll see if this is enough here. So we'll just work this over the edge here, get it up over. There we go. Okay, so that's in place. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's popped up. We'll just work it down with the rest of this wiring. We will come out. It's really all about getting all these seams in the right place. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we're here on the driver's side, and as you can see, we have the coax cable that kind of pops out here from this cover on the side. I didn't have to do any trimming or anything on the plastic cover here. I just kind of popped it out where the seatbelt connector is down here. And basically from here, we're just gonna run that coax under the seat, and there's a coax connection just on right next to that red cord there. And that's pretty much all we have to do to hook up to the transceiver there. Okay, so from here, we're pretty much done working on the inside of the car. And now we just have to take this L bracket with an RJ50 or RG58 cord. Basically, we just have to take this bracket, mount it on the rooftop, and figure out how much cord we need, because I need to cut it, and we also need to solder a new connector on here. Alright, so we are inside out of the wind, thankfully, and we got a little bit of soldering to do. So here is our NMO bracket that we're going to be mounting on the roof rack, and I have cut this cord to length, and we're going to be putting a connector on this end, which will plug into that adapter that we installed outside. I have a little tool here that's going to help get this rubber jacket off, take off about 1.5 inches or so. So now that I got this split, I'm basically going to take a knife and we're just going to peel this back. And I don't want to destroy the shielding on there, so I'm trying not to cut that. I don't want to cut too deep. And I really don't want to cut my hand either. Okay, so there's that. Now this should just break right off. There we go. So we can see copper shielding on this side. And that's pretty good. And that's pretty decent. So basically what we need to do, this is our connector here. Let me set this to the side. Take this apart. And disassemble this. Okay, so what's going to happen here is, where did it go? There it is. Okay. This is going to be going through here, and then this copper jacket is going to fold back onto this part right here. Let's go ahead and start peeling this back. Now I actually don't need all of this copper jacket, so we're going to go ahead and trim it just a bit. What I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim, expose some of this, get that centered. I don't want to ruin this. And we can actually see, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's starting to split in the middle here, and that's good as long as our wire inside is not splitting. I just want to pull this off, and I may just have to do the old-fashioned bite routine here. There we go. Okay, so we have our wire exposed here. Basically this is just going to slide on in like so. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Now we just have to solder. So basically I'm going to apply a little bit of solder on the tip here, trim this tip, And then I also need to place some solder in these little holes on the side here where the shielding is visible. All set up here. The one thing I forgot to do is put this on first. And it was a good thing I remembered that before I started soldering. Otherwise, this would have been a lot harder. So we're going to go ahead and slip this on first because this needs to screw on from the back side. Then we can go ahead and slip this on. You're now ready to do some soldering. I want to tilt this down just because I don't want solder pouring back up into the plastic shielding or insulation on that. But we're just going to gently I think that's good. Okay. So that part's good. Now let's work on the top here. Come on, stick to it. It's just kind of puddling up on the iron itself. Okay, that should be it. So we're just going to go outside, plug this in, and mount the bracket, and that should literally be all there is to it. And then I gotta put the car back together as well too, since it's kind of in pieces. But yeah, let's go outside and see what this looks like. All right, well, we're back in the wind. Hopefully we can get this done here pretty quick. But this is just gonna go here, it's gonna go there. So this is a 1-inch mount. And for some reason it was designed for mirror mounting. At least that's what the description said when I was shopping around for something like this. But we'll improvise on a roof rack and it'll make it work. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up the whole project. I went ahead and reassembled the visors, light, side posts. I didn't think I needed to show you guys that. It was just literally doing everything we just did but in reverse. But that pretty much wraps up this project. I'll probably have to go and zip tie the cable to the roof rack at some point here. But we got some weather moving in, so I think we're going to call it a day. This wind is really starting to pick up, and it is not gonna let up, I think, all week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and a like. If you have questions or anything, leave them in the comments and I will be more than happy to help you guys out. I'll be leaving, oh hey, it works. That's good. So I'll be leaving links in the description for all the things and parts I used for this install. Now, the things I use may not be what's best for you guys, but if this helps at all and get you thinking and how you want to do yours, I'm more than happy to help you out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. And oh yeah, so I'm only posting like twice a month on YouTube, if that. I'm trying to do twice a month, but once a month is probably the more realistic goal at the moment, but we'll see where this goes. But you guys feel free to follow me over on Instagram because I am posting a lot more over there, and I'm just kind of having fun with it there. So feel free to follow me over there, see what's up, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And one last thing, if you guys haven't checked out our last video where we went to the Guadalupe Mountains in Carlsbad, I'll leave a link in the description somewhere up here in the top of this video. But while we were there, we went ahead and got patches, and this is our very first patch that we've ever got. So we're just going to do an honorary tradition of sticking patches all over our vehicle.